Having second-tier players break through with big weeks, often the key to winning your fantasy matchup every week. And of course, when you're talking breakthrough guys, there is no one better in the history than the legendary Kool-Aid Man. So now, please enjoy this Fantasy Piece Theater presentation of Kool-Aid Man, starring our own Daniel Dobb. Hey, Kool-Aid!
Oh, yeah.
Good job, Daniel. I think you really nailed Kool-Aid Man's motivation there, which, to be clear, is entirely about getting more Kool-Aid into his body, a body that is already full of Kool-Aid.
He does love Kool-Aid, Matthew.
He sure does, Daniel. He sure does. And this week, I love Joe Mixon as a breakthrough candidate. Listen, the Bengals rookie has seen his ground yards go from 9 in week 1 to 36 in week 2 to 62 in week 3. He's gotten more snaps, more carries, more fantasy points every single week. And in fact, in new offensive coordinator Bill Lazor's first game last Sunday, Mixon led all Cincinnati running backs in snaps for the first time. So what happened? The Bengals offense showed signs of life. And now they get the Cleveland Browns, who, over the last 2 years, have allowed the 4th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. I believe a breakout game is coming, and I say it's this weekend. Last chance to buy low on Joe Mixon. Another breakthrough pick I love versus a weak opponent, Austin Seferian-Jenkins. In his first game back from suspension last week, ASJ, 5 catches on 6 targets. In fact, Seferian-Jenkins targeted on 26% of the Jets' passing attempts last week, right? Among tight ends, Rob Gronkowski, Zach Ertz. They're the only two that had a higher target percentage among tight ends. And now ASJ gets the Jaguars, who are a weak opponent when it comes to the opposing tight end. They've actually given up the 4th most fantasy points to tight ends this year. So I love me some Seferian-Jenkins both this Sunday and the rest of the season. Want one more breakthrough pick?
No, not really.
I knew it. So give me Deshaun Watson, who frankly has already been broken out, but people just aren't aware of it yet. He's been the 8th best quarterback in fantasy the last 2 weeks. You know, the only 2 weeks Deshaun Watson has started. And while he's been solid throwing the ball so far, his big fantasy value currently is the running. Last 2 weeks, 108 yards and a touchdown on the ground. He actually leads all quarterbacks in rushing yards this season, despite not even starting week 1. And this Sunday, he gets a Titans defense that has allowed the 2nd most quarterback points since the start of 2016 and the 4th most rushing yards to quarterbacks this year. Plus, he gets Will Fuller back this week, which will certainly help spread out the offense. Deshaun Watson still widely available in lots of ESPN leagues. Joe Mixon, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, Deshaun Watson among my breakouts this week. I hope this segment has been a cool aid to your fantasy team.
Ugh, so bad.